Tuberculosis is a disease which can be diagnosed by lots of investigation procedure, and with the advancement of medical science there are few investigations like sputum smear microscopy to detect tubercle bacilli, then chest x-ray PA view, ELISA, sputum culture, TB interferon, etc. And few investigations are there which are really costly and very impressive. Many of us, we are impressed by the cost of the test, and laboratory technicians, they convince the patient, or sometime the patient themselves, they are convinced by the cost of the test, and they think that because the test is costlier, then that test might be the confirmatory test for tuberculosis. Today I will tell you which is the best test for tuberculosis and which is the diagnostic test for tuberculosis. Let's start, friends. Hello friends, pulmonary tuberculosis can be diagnosed by lots of investigations, but sputum smear microscopy to detect the tubercle bacilli is the best test. This is the diagnostic test for pulmonary tuberculosis. How the test is done? If a patient is having cough for more than 2 weeks and the patient comes to doctor advice for sputum smear microscopy. Patient gives the cough, you can say the expectoration for examination, and the expectoration is prepared, and the laboratory technician see the sputum smear in microscopy to detect the tubercle bacilli in the sputum. When the tubercle bacilli is found in the sputum, this is the confirmatory test. That means the patient is having pulmonary tuberculosis. There are no tests needed. This is the only test you need. If this test is non-diagnostic, I mean if non-yielding, the patient is having cough for more than 2 weeks, but the sputum is done and tubercle bacilli is not found, then we can go for other tests. Okay, so now why sputum smear microscopy is so good? What is the benefit? I'll tell you a few things that why sputum smear is so good for pulmonary tuberculosis. First of all, this is a very easy to perform test. Any laboratory technician who is trained for a few days or few hours can do this test, and this is not that costly. This is a very cheaper test, and comparative to other tests available for TB. And interestingly, this test is free of charge in government setup. Anybody can go for this test in government setup without any money. The third thing is, any patient who is put on treatment for TB can be followed up by this test. Patient is having treatment for TB and we do the test. If the patient is negative for tubercle bacilli, that means the patient is responding to treatment. If he is positive for tubercle bacilli, that means the patient is not responding to treatment, then doctor will decide accordingly. So anyone having cough for more than 2 weeks, having any family history of tuberculosis, any contact history of pulmonary tuberculosis can go for this test, and this test you can get the result within 1 or 2 days. Don't go for any other costlier test if the sputum is positive. No need of doing other tests. This is the confirmatory test and you can be put on pulmonary tuberculosis treatment. That's all for today. Thank you friends for watching this video.